All right, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of the Too Many Men podcast. I'm Tony Pickenich. With me here, as always, John Gallietta and Tyler Trish Dyes.
Yeah, I got a last name this time.
What's up, everyone?
We started recording at the halftime of the Saints-Cowboy game, and we got a little bit of a stunner on our hands, boys.
Yeah, we do.
I'm bewildered.
John, what's the score at halftime?
13-0, but you would think it's from the Saints, but no, it is the Dallas Cowboys who are up 13-0
Cowboys
against the New Orleans Saints.
kicked a late field goal at the end of the first half to make it 13-0. Saints haven't really been able to get anything going the whole game, but
Absolutely wild.
you hope for more if you're a Saints fan, or if you bet on the Saints like I did, you hope for more offense in the second half. And the biggest play of the half by far was Alvin Kamara not being able to get into the end zone, being stopped short. It was around the 1 or the 2.
Yeah, it was like the
Big
two.
momentum swing, huge momentum swing.
I mean, on the other side of the game, you also see Ezekiel Elliott having himself a game. 1 receiving touchdown, insane amount of yards already just in the first half.
Well, that's the focal point of
their offense.
offense. It's get Ezekiel Elliott going, whether you have to throw him the ball or hand it off to him. If he's moving, they can basically beat anybody with that because he's just such a workhorse.
I know before we started recording, Trish and I saw an interesting stat pop up on the TV. Drew Brees, what was it? How many yards did he have in the first half, Trish?
I believe it was like 38 yards.
Yeah, meanwhile, I believe Dak Prescott, last time we checked, it was around 179 yards.
Yeah.
So, albeit Drew Brees has had a limited amount of time on the field, only about 6 minutes compared to Dak Prescott. And you expect him to bounce back in the second half, but still, coming from the league's head MVP candidate, you would expect a better performance.
And you saw the stat there at the end of the half that the Saints had not been shut out in a half in 71 consecutive games, which was the active streak, the leading active streak up until now.
Over now, yeah.
And I look at our picks from Tuesday's podcast, and we all had Saints across the board.
Big oof.
Expecting a huge second half here from Drew Brees and the Saints.
Let's hope.
I have faith. I have faith in Drew Brees.
Oh, so do I. It's still a lot of football left for Drew Brees, and I would even say 13-0 going into the fourth quarter. I would still give Drew Brees a chance to win this game.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen crazier things,
Especially from that team and that head coach. And
that team, that head coach. But we look back at the Super Bowl a couple years ago. You had Falcons, Patriots, and they were down, 23, 24 points.
Well, a little bit higher stakes were put on that game. Than,
I understand that, but you'd think the defense, if they were shutting another team down so well going into that half, and then they come back, and it's like, they just were like, all right, let's stop joking around here, and they just lit them up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do agree with you there. In like any NFL game, in a single game, anything could happen, no matter who, what team.
Well, do you have any prediction for the second half here? You want to predict a score here at the midway point of this game?
I mean, I think it's just contingent on New Orleans offense getting something going. You know, as we've been saying before, Dallas has pretty much done a good job of, what's the word for it? Halting Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, all of those guys. And so we're going to need to see a big improvement from them in the next half.
It was also talked about the Dallas defense being a weakness for this team, but they allowed 67 total yards in the first half.
So bad.
67.
Oh, wow.
Trish, you got a final score here you want to predict?
I don't even want to guess at this point. I know the Saints are going to put one in the end zone at some point. If not winning this game, they're going to put one in the end zone. They're not getting shut out.
I think it's going to be all defense.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be from the Saints here. I think to get the offense going, the defense has to get going, and they've forced some turnovers, but the offense just has to be able to capitalize on it. It might come down to the point where if the defense is going to force a turnover for the Saints, they got to get into the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
The defense has to score points here to get the Saints back in this game.
I mean, even in the first half, you saw a few opportunities. You know, Dak Prescott, reckless with the ball. There was like a near fumble opportunity.
Yeah.
And the
And
Saints just
he's
got to
usually good
capitalize
for
on that.
the 1 or 2 interceptions a game in the
Dak's
second half.
being Dak
so-
this game, and they're still lighting him up. It's insane.
Yeah, we'll tune into next half for Dak Prescott, see how he can follow up that first half performance, I guess, right?
You guys remember when Dak was supposed to be like this next great quarterback?
Well, he
because
went
good
13-3 that first season.
He had Tony Romo
and all
whispering in his ear.
granted, last season he did have no running game because Ezekiel Elliott had that whole drama with the 6-game suspension.
Mm-hmm.
That was hilarious.
Now we're gonna transition here to one of Trish's favorite segments.
Oh yes.
We're gonna talk about a folk hero for this podcast. We are trying hard to get him on the podcast. I have talked to the Philadelphia 76ers organization, and they said all interviews have to go through them. So the first steps have been taken toward this.
When did you talk to
I gave him a call yesterday. And I said I'd like to interview one of the players in your organization.
Didn't.
I did. They're like, and their first question was, who the hell are you?
We're the Too Many Men podcast. We have a cult following right now.
But it is now time for the Milkshake Minute.
Oh,
Milkshake Minute.
We focus on Shake Milton, and we've solved the mystery on why he has not put up any points for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh,
the last few games. It's because he's in their development league.
The G League.
Shake Milton is not a Philadelphia 76er right now. He's a Delaware Bluecoat.
Hey, he's 22. He's got time to be the name.
Exactly.
The name of the league.
Exactly.
Let's see, Tony. Can you read off some of his stats then?
Well,
for,
there's only
for
one.
listeners?
Well, for games in October, there's nothing. But if you look at games in November, he's played 6 games and he's started all 6. He's averaging 35.6 minutes per game.
Oh, listen to that.
Yeah, listen to that. 8.3 field goals made per game. His field goal percentage is 48%.
Not bad.
That's not terrible.
How many points is that? Like convert how many
I
threes?
don't even see his points per game on here.
That's 2 threes.
He's averaging 20.7 points per game in November. Granted, only 6 games for the Delaware Bluecoats, but that's some tough competition down there in the G League.
The Bluecoats are elite in the G League, I've heard. You know, it's them and the...
John, I'm going to look up their standings, and you better hope you're right.
They're the Raptors 905 or whatever, but...
Or the Westchester Knicks.
The Westchester Knicks. Who could forget those?
Most people could.
What a team.
But, it's obvious the G League is no match for Shake Milton. And we're looking at the standings here, John. I'm trying to call you out on your bowl.
Just watch. They're gonna end up. He's gonna
Watch them be the number 1 seed.
Of the league.
Is there a seeding in? How does seeding work in the G League?
I can't even find the Bluecoats in the
standings. Is there a playoffs in them?
Anybody know what the G League is?
At least they're not the Wisconsin Herd. The Wisconsin Herd are 1-9.
Damn, in the G League.
This is your G League update. Okay, the Delaware Bluecoats are 4-5.
Okay.
That's not terrible.
Middle of the pack team, trailing the Fort Wayne Mad Ants, the Grand Rapids Drive. Raptors 905, the Westchester Knicks, who are in 2nd place.
Hey.
And the Long Island Nets in 1st place.
Well, listen. Who can...
Well, at least the Nets have some good teams.
That's the only way a Knicks and Nets team can be atop any kind of conference.
I mean, who could be upset about the Bluecoats being behind the Fort Wayne Mad Ants? I mean, after all, my 2K19, my career player, was on the Mad Ants.
Well, everybody's was. It was the storyline, John.
Indeed. And so, who's surprised?
John, Fort Wayne is 4-4.
Wow.
And the Long Island Nets are in 1st place at 6-2.
The Long Island Nets? Shit.
But the Westchester Knicks are 9-3.
Who's on that team?
I don't know who's on that team.
Do we have any?
All we care about is Shake Milton.
Oh yeah, this is the Milkshake Minute. I forgot about that.
But
Let's get on topic.
It's obvious that Milkshake Milton is
elite,
tearing it up in the G League.
Yep.
And if there is a G League All-Star game, I don't know if there is, because it is the G League.
He'll be there.
He's gonna first ballot.
Yeah.
First team.
Obviously.
Captain.
He's gonna be
MVP.
in the
Hall
NBA
of Famer.
very soon.
Oh, definitely.
And once he gets there, he's gonna tear it up.
The G League is the only league I know of that sold the name of their team to a company. They were the D League.
Yeah.
And then they made that stupid deal with Gatorade. Oh, we're the G League now.
Yeah, man.
Why?
Because Gatorade.
Listen, man, you already have to have the Gatorade on like the table in front of every press conference, so
He's
might as well.
Shake Milton is averaging 37
Then you got
minutes
Steph Curry's
and wins.
daughter just sitting there going, "My daddy don't need to take any of this from y'all."
37 minutes and wins. Shake Milton. That's what he's averaging. 26 points per game and wins.
Listen, how's his playmaking? Let me see. Oh, 0.8 assists a game, or is that 2.3?
Well, he's not really the guy to be dishing it out.
Oh, yeah, because he's the scorer, right? You just pass him the ball, let him go
look
to work.
Look at those points per game, and you tell me what he is. He's also not a defensive powerhouse. He's averaging 0.3 blocks per game.
This is stupid, but I'm curious to know how many points the Bluecoats average
He has
a game.
0 blocks per game.
Well, do you want
in the wins?
I can give you that information. That we are able to pull up that information. The last game for the Delaware Bluecoats. Their top headline on their website: Milton, 32 points.
Oh
Hey,
my
look at him.
God!
Bluecoats edge herd. Delaware 108. Wisconsin 106.
Ooh,
So I can only imagine Shake Milton is
carrying that team.
the guy down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, he's their man. And soon he will be the NBA's man. He is the next Michael Jordan.
Listen,
Trish, where did Shake Milton go to college?
That's not important.
Take a guess. It's in Texas. And don't say Texas, because it's not Texas.
I was going to say the Longhorns.
That's Texas.
Tony, let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah,
Is it A&M?
he went to SMU.
Okay.
So, Tony,
He was also drafted by the Spurs. And the Spurs basically immediately traded him.
How could you give up someone so good?
Pretty easily. You trade him for 2 more picks.
That's fair.
that's fair.
But
So
they're going to
Tony-
be upset that they traded away the next Michael Jordan.
I'm sure
True.
Greg Popovich will be kicking himself there in San Antonio.
He will.
I need you guys to all direct your attention to the screen
Oh, boy.
and
Still on this, huh?
the amount of threes made per game by Shake Milton.
Let's
And
not
just in
look at the
November,
amount of
that's
threes.
2.2. 2.2. How many
He attempts
threes?
6.3, John.
How many threes is Markelle Fultz attempting and
Oh,
making in November?
So you really
Yeah.
want to do this?
I want to do this. There is no reason Shake Milton should be in the G League when Markelle Fultz has a seat with his name on it on the Delaware Bluecoats bench whenever he's ready. He deserves it.
What do you mean he deserves it?
He needs to go to the G League. That's what I'm
You're
saying.
saying they should put Markelle Fultz in the G League.
Yep.
John.
He can't shoot. Shake Milton's not afraid to shoot it. He shoots it.
Well, we're
Twice
looking at
a-
a
he
very
makes it
small
twice a game.
sample size from Shake Milton. 6 damn games. Whereas
I don't think he played in October because he probably wasn't there in October.
Markelle Fultz is dealing with a wrist injury.
Yeah, man.
He's hurt again.
It's a wrist injury. You can't see it, everyone, but I'm doing air quotes because, he just has the
You
yips.
can hear about the inflection in your voice. Okay.
Can we talk about
One
Wiggins?
second. Markelle Fultz is 28.6% from 3 this season in 19 games.
Yeah, hold on. Go back to
He's making
Shakes. I
0.2
think
per
Shake
game.
has better.
He does. He
He
does.
He has around 34%, 34.2%.
Yeah,
this
Shake
season.
Milton.
But he is taking a considerably lower number of threes than Markelle Fultz is.
Is he, though? Wait, how many is Fultz taking?
Well, Shake is attempting 6 per game,
6 per game. Okay.
and yeah, I know. And
Tony the Tech guy is horrible at charging. all of his
Markelle
devices.
Fultz is averaging 0.7 per game. That can't be right? Yeah,
he
he's
doesn't shoot, dude. But I don't understand.
but he should be shooting more than that.
He's not trying
What's he
to.
shot? 1
He's
3 this
scared.
damn season?
He's shot maybe
That's
2.
attempts per game.
Yeah, he's attempting 0.7 per game.
Yeah, that's not good.
What's he taking? 2 or 3 of them this year?
Yeah, pretty much. It's in the double digits, maybe.
That's-
In
that's
attempts.
horrible.
All right.
by
Well,
10.
it was the milkshake minute, not the milkshake 8 minutes.
I like Milkshake.
I'm sorry. I got really
We're
angry at
trying
Fultz
so
for a
hard
second.
to get him on the show. You have no idea.
Elton Brand, answer our calls.
It'd be amazing if he was.
This is a call going out to Harris Blitzer, the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers. The only reason I know his name is because he owns the New Jersey Devils, too. We're trying to...
Can we also get any Devils player at all on this show?
Oh, who do you want?
That's ambitious,
I'll take
man.
any of them.
We can't even get Shake
I
Milton.
feel like that'd be easier.
I will take Nick Lappin.
Well, he's not on the Devils. He's on the
I know he's
NHL
not
team.
on the Devils, but they own
Well,
them
let's
Let's pivot.
go to our next topic here.
too. NCAA.
The college football playoff. Now,
Dun, dun, dun.
the top 4 teams, Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Georgia. Clemson, Alabama, and Notre Dame are in. There's no 2 ways about it. It's not Alabama plays Georgia this week. Oklahoma plays Texas this week, and Ohio State plays Northwestern. And Michigan's not going to matter there. It's 7 at 10 and 2. But then there's the number 8 team in the nation. The University of Central Florida, the Knights. 11 and 0.
Tony's got a problem with something.
Have not lost in 2 years. Michigan at 10-2 is ranked higher than them. Ohio State at 11-1 is ranked higher than them. Oklahoma and Georgia also at 11-1, ranked higher than them.
Where's the cutoff for the playoffs?
4.
Really?
4 is the cutoff for the playoffs?
Yes.
Wow.
So, I believe the committee is not giving enough respect to UCF. And they said it last year. They said, oh, UCF didn't play enough high-ranking opponents. So we're going to put him in a meaningless bowl game against Auburn. Last year, Auburn beat Alabama, and I believe they beat Clemson too.
Mm-hmm.
And then UCF beat them.
So for some of our listeners who maybe haven't been following the college football playoff race so much, can you explain why UCF is being snubbed out of the
strength
playoff
of
spot?
schedule. They believe it's strength of schedule. UCF's only beaten 1 or 2 ranked opponents this year. They beat ranked. Cincinnati was ranked when they played them, not ranked anymore. They crushed Cincinnati 38-13. But, and I'm not sure who else they played when they were ranked, but they beat, who's who they've beaten this season? They beat FIU 61-17. The game against Memphis was postponed. The game against Georgia Tech was postponed. UCF beat Maryland, Austin Pay, Connecticut, SC State, UNC, FL Atlantic, Pittsburgh, SMU, Memphis. Pittsburgh's a tough team, by the way. East Carolina, Temple, Navy, Cincinnati, who was ranked at the time, and South Florida last week. Then they have Memphis in their conference championship game this week, which they should beat, barring anything crazy. But there is a path here for UCF to get into the Final Four. Alabama would have to beat Georgia. Oklahoma would have to lose to Texas, and Ohio State would have to lose to Northwestern.
Which is all possible.
Which is all possible. And even then, they still might like an Ohio State more, but even though I don't know how you put Ohio State in with a 3-touchdown loss to Purdue on their record. And I could even see them still saying Michigan is still higher ranked. But I believe UCF's going to win this weekend. I think Ohio State and Oklahoma are going to win this weekend, and Oklahoma will sneak into the playoff. And UCF will be either 6 or 7 because of it. And then they'll play in a bowl game against a team that barely missed the cutoff, and they're going to beat them again. That's what's going to happen. And then the cycle's going to repeat next year and the year after that.
College football, in my opinion, is a little screwy with the way they do everything.
It's because it's judgment-based. It doesn't go by record. If it went by record, the top 4 teams would be Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and UCF.
I mean, yeah, just to me as an outsider, and yes, Trish, sorry I cut you off there, but I just think that it would make a little bit more sense to do it by record. It kind of seems a little unfair.
Well, the problem with doing it by record is all these teams aren't the same. So some colleges will play in different, not different divisions. I don't want to say
lower
that.
ranked.
Yeah.
Team, way lower ranked.
So UCF will play a bunch of unranked teams, and because they're a ranked team, because they're good, they'll just smoke every one of them.
You look at
you'll get Alabama, who will play a bunch of really, really good teams.
Well, that's not even necessarily true. They play Georgia next week, and they played Missouri, who was ranked, LSU, who was ranked. But they got games against Louisville. Louisville's not a good team. They got games against Arkansas State. They had the game against the Citadel a few weeks back. It's really I
still think Alabama could beat an NFL team if put up to it.
There is no base for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look lower down the rankings. A team like Fresno State is 10-2, ranked 25th in the nation. Iowa State is 7-4 and 23rd.
For me, as an outsider, what I'm getting from this though is it kind of seems stupid because they have no part in choosing how their schedule, what teams they're going to be matching up against at that.
Well, no, they do.
Season, do
what
they?
The colleges?
Yeah. So wait, how does
the
this work?
colleges can actually pay smaller schools to play them?
Oh, really? So
yes.
That's how it's going?
Yeah, they can. I believe they get to pick. Their conference picks the certain amount of games they play, and then they get to pick 4 or 5 games on the schedule. I believe that's how it works, and they can also pick how many bye weeks they want to. It's usually either one or two.
Mm-hmm.
But the school gets a lot of say in who they play that season. They can really set themselves up for an easier schedule.
Okay.
Now, I think UCF, the 2017 national champion UCF, because they did claim the national championship, I think they would love to play a team like Ohio State, but Ohio State wouldn't play them out of fear that they'd lose to them.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't pay the money to play them, just out of that fear.
I'd love to see UCF versus Alabama.
I would love to see it, too. I would love to see it. I would love to see UCF shock the world.
I I just want to know if they'd be able to stay with him.
Well, the current Final Four, and even if what I said happens, if Georgia loses, Oklahoma loses, and Ohio State loses, they'll probably throw either Georgia or Oklahoma in. Probably Georgia still, nothing will change even if UCF wins. But out of the 4 teams right now, who do you think's winning the championship?
Alabama, easy.
Yeah, I'd have to say the same.
I'm gonna say Clemson. I don't think Notre Dame has the power to do it. And I think Clemson can do it again against Bama.
You think Clemson can beat Bama?
They did it before.
I know they've done it before, but this team's been rolling this year.
They roll every year.
It's impressive.
Alabama loses no more than 1 game a year.
It's impressive.
Ever since the college football playoff has been implemented like 3 or 4 years ago, Alabama's been in every one.
I feel like a little bit with Alabama, their reputation precedes them a little bit, while this is a good Alabama team, it might not be their best one.
There's no such thing as a bad Alabama team.
Your computer's literally about to die.
It doesn't matter. We're gonna need it soon.
What?
That's true.
Oh, we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said it's about to die. You said it doesn't matter.
All right. Well, UCF should be in. It's a disservice to the nation that they're not putting them in. And the committee should really look at it, especially when it's going to be the same thing next year, because I believe UCF can do it again next year. Now we're just going to move from that to what we're looking forward to this weekend in sports, and we're going to start off with John. John, give us what you're looking forward to most this weekend.
Going off of the schedule that we went over last week for the NFL on Sunday, I'd probably say the best matchup. Do you have that piece of paper? Can you hand me that, Trish? I just wanted to look at those games. Thanks, buddy. All right. Yeah, I'd have to say the Pats versus the Vikings. It's probably the most anticipated matchup I'd have on Sunday Night Football. The Pats are red hot coming off that blowout against the Jets, and everyone knows the Vikings with Kirk Cousins are an intimidating team to face, especially when they're at home. So, yeah. What would you say, Tony?
The game's in Foxborough, John.
Oh, well, in that case, Foxborough. Looks like the Pats are going to win this, guys. Sorry.
Well, he just went back on. It's going to be a tough game. Minnesota's a tough team to play in the Dome in Minnesota. That's great. They're playing outside at Foxborough.
John, we literally talked about last week how...
last week? You mean Tuesday?
It
Tuesday.
was 2 days ago, so give me a little credit.
About how Minnesota's not going to be able to do the Skull Champ. And then Tony said, well, they're going to do it anyway.
All right, Trish, what's your thing you're looking forward to most this weekend?
I'm looking forward to the Devils game this weekend.
Oh, baby.
It's going to be a fun one to watch. I'm really hoping they can get out of this weird little slump they're in right now. I'm also excited. Are the Sabres playing this weekend?
They're playing right now.
Oh, they're playing now.
Score's right there on the board.
Oh, shit, they're losing 5-4.
3:49 left here in the third period.
Oh, the Sabres got to pull through.
The Sabres got to pull through to win 11 straight.
That'd be impressive.
Would be, especially against a tough Tampa Bay Lightning team. 17-6-2 are the Buffalo Sabres this season.
That's a strange number considering they've just won quite a bit in a row.
Oh, they were, yeah.
What was their record to start then before they started streaking like this?
Horrible.
I'll just subtract 10 from it, John.
It was 7-6-2, John. They were still a winning record, but
all.
it was still quite bad.
Well, I remember early in the season, after like 4 games played, they had a chance to go 2-2 against Vegas. It would brought the record up to 2-2. And I got the notification that this would be the first time that they were 500 since like 2015.
Well, now they're quite over 500. The Buffalo Sabres are quite terrible. I feel like most teams out of Buffalo just aren't anything special most of the time. Like, in recent history, I can't think of a memorable Buffalo team.
Well, you weren't watching when the Sabres had those teams that went to the Eastern Conference Final almost every other year. They had Ryan Miller.
When was that?
2006, 2007.
Yeah, I said recent memory.
It's 10 years.
Not 10 years ago.
Not recent enough.
Nope.
And there's only one game final in the NHL so far right now as Blue Jackets have beaten the Wild 4-2. Oh, nope. The Senators also now have just finished off the Rangers 3-0. And now we just look forward to we look at the NBA scores. John had something to say earlier about the Raptors-Warriors game. The Raptors were blowing them out earlier, but
Yeah.
the Warriors have made this a 11-point game now, 103-92.
And what quarter is that now?
Fourth, 10 minutes left. And there's only 2 other games on the slate today for the NBA. You got the Lakers and the Pacers and the Kings and the Clippers.
Surprise, surprise.
And I guess the Raptors are at home, so
Oh, and Trish just saying the Cavs lost yesterday, 100-83.
that's a surprise.
That's
What's
I'm
surprising
shocked.
about that?
I'm shocked.
I am
appalled.
shocked, and they're playing below their talent level.
I believe
They
Russell Westbrook had a triple-double.
Yeah, but
But what?
I don't know, man. I just want better from the Cavs. I just want to
Also
see
want
better.
better
I
from the
demand a
Cavs.
better team.
I think the fact that the Wizards lost is quite funny.
You would think that they would go off because if in case anyone missed it, the Cavs traded Kyle Korver yesterday.
Yes,
to
they
Utah.
did. Let's touch on that real quick.
Yeah, and so normally I feel like after a team makes a trade like that, it either the game immediately following that trade either goes one of two ways. It's either a confident win or a horrible
You're
blowout.
acting like this was a team that expected to be in a playoff position, and they just traded away a major piece after beginning
They
the
do
I
season.
feel like
expect to be
Trish
in
and
a
I
playoff
had a 10-minute
position.
conversation about how we did expect them to be in a playoff.
Yes,
piece.
but did they expect it? I don't think they expected it.
You don't think they
that
expected
they're
it?
mad
I don't
that
think
everyone
Colin
assumes.
Sexton and a banged up Kevin Love was gonna bring that
You
team to
don't
the
think
playoffs.
the Max and Kevin Love is a sign of yeah, let's try and win a little bit?
No, I think it was an act of pure desperation. Like, everybody can't leave, can they?
I mean, they should.
Yeah, John.
I mean, look at it this way: they're still losing even with Kevin Love, so best of both worlds, I guess.
I think the Cavs wanted to prove that they don't need LeBron to win.
Celtics gonna smack the Cavs tomorrow too. I hope you realize that.
Oh yeah,
The Celtics.
that's obvious.
That's such a losable game for
and
the Celtics.
since we've been
based on how they've
talking
playing.
these last 2 minutes, the Warriors have now made it a 6-point game.
Oh, great! Wonder who did that. Clay? Is that you? Probably.
Clay.
And we
God,
are
are you there? It's Margaret.
We are getting no word in from Klay Thompson in Toronto right now. My thing to look forward to this weekend in sports, I got a full weekend when it comes to going to events.
Oh yeah, you just got those Giants
I did.
tickets.
Shout out to the
Talk
guy
about
at my
that?
work that gave me tickets for free.
Oh shit! Who they
For
playing?
no reason.
They're playing the Bears.
Wait, at MetLife?
The
or-
Bears.
Oh,
At
dope.
MetLife. I got
No,
the Devils
he's going
game.
to fly to Chicago.
Yeah, after going to the Devils game Saturday night, I'm flying to Chicago to watch Chase Daniel and the Chicago Bears take on Eli Manning and the New York Giants. Yeah, I wasted the money on a plane ticket for that.
It's a two-way plane ticket one day. He's gonna go there.
Fly
and
right
that
back,
day
so I can be
fly
back for the Devils game Monday night
Listen,
too.
you're lost. I heard Chicago's a lovely city, man. You should go definitely check it out sometime.
Other than the
I
murder
heard
rate.
deep dish pizza ain't nothing.
That's true. Fuck
my,
Chicago.
My dad's been to Chicago and he said he tried their deep dish.
John,
and
you see that headline from ESPN?
said it wasn't
Magic
that good.
Johnson on LeBron James usage. We don't want it to be the Cleveland Cavaliers model.
I mean, I guess they don't want to make it to four straight
Four
finals.
straight finals and win one.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you wouldn't want that.
Because you don't want it to be all him. He's too old for that now.
I understand you don't want it to be all him, but you still want him to be a major player.
Yeah. Clippers won again yesterday.
They did?
Right there.
Oh shit.
115 to 99 over the Suns.
Against the Suns, do we count those as victories now?
Still a win.
It's more just like
Goes
a scheduled
in the W
win.
column.
They still let up 99 against the Suns.
Yeah, that's very low for today's NBA.
Yeah, that is.
And the Cavs 80 is very upsetting.
Yeah, that is something to be upset about. Let's talk a little bit about what other games were yesterday.
Wait a minute. I just
those...
want to see how many times the Cavs scored under 90 points this season.
Wait, can we do that? Wait, bring
Yeah,
it up.
John, we're getting to it. Don't worry.
Don't
We
you
got
worry about it,
one. Oh, they scored 95 in that one.
Oh, look at that.
Yep, there's. Oh, no. The Hornets scored 89 in that one.
Oh.
The Cavs have scored under 100 a ton of times. There's 2 under 90.
There's an 86. Another
That's
one
the
against
Hornets. That's the
Thunder.
Hornets. But, all right, the Cavs don't score under 90 often, but they score under 100 real often. There's another one, 86 against the Nets.
The Nets.
It's a damn shame.
This team's
That's
not
upsetting.
good.
All right, listen, they're going to be better.
Nope,
Listen,
they're not.
You're missing like 20-something
What did
points
you
from Kevin
what's going
Love.
on left there? It's just
It's
been
the football game,
video
but it ain't
unavailable
working.
the entire time.
It's the football game, but it's not working.
At the very least, get the Raptor game in split screen.
Amazon
that's in, like, that's in crunch
streams
time.
games
Just Thursday night.
sponsored by Amazon.
All right, well, this was a short show. It was a Thursday.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
isn't our usual Tuesday show. This is
No, yeah, this is the
this
lesser
is
of
the
two.
express version of this show.
Yeah,
But
Tuesdays-
we're still gonna end this show the same way we do every time. We're gonna give you our hot takes to end the broadcast. We're going to start off with Trish because Trish had the microphone in his mouth ready to go. Trish, give us your hot take.
Yeah. Hot take. I think that the Saints are going to come back, and they are going to put Houston in their place.
Trish makes that. You mean Dallas?
That's what I meant.
Trish makes that his hot take after earlier on in the program saying,
"It's gonna be.
I'm not gonna make a comment on it."
That's like a lukewarm take.
Why
at
did you
best.
just Google Lightning?
Because I meant to Google the Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh, the Buffalo Sabres will not make it 11 straight. The Lightning have defeated them 5-4.
That's real upsetting right there.
John, what's your hot take, man?
My hot take?
Yeah,
My hot take is that
my hot take,
the New Orleans Saints will not come back.
Oh, what? That's not a hot take.
Those are just composing. What my hot take should be
Okay, listen,
friggin' tie.
I don't really know what's going on this
That'd be
weekend. So
insane.
my hot take, the Raiders will score actually more than one touchdown for once.
Didn't they do that last week?
They did. I think they scored 7, didn't they?
Who'd they play?
It's the Raiders,
San
man. They
Diego,
suck.
right? Or LA now. Nah, John, they scored 17 points last week against Baltimore.
That still sucks.
They scored 6 against the Chargers.
Okay,
3
I
weeks
was thinking
ago.
of the Chargers.
John was going back to a game 3 weeks ago.
Man,
They
scored
23
3
against
against
I got
the
the
Raiders.
I got the Chargers on my
They
mind.
beat
okay?
the Cardinals.
That's what I'm saying. They scored 23 points.
I'm trying to think of okay, my hot take, the Devils will sweep the back-to-back Friday and Saturday versus Washington and Winnipeg.
That is a big, big statement right there.
2 in a row, and boys, I think the second show is in the books.
All right,
All right.
let's do it.
Trish, you want to say goodbye to all the viewers?
Bye, everybody.
We just
Hope you enjoyed
want
the show.
to thank you here at the show for tuning in again,
Thank you.
giving us the love on our first episode.
Yeah, we loved
Oh,
it.
yeah.
We had one bad comment. It was quite upsetting.
But we don't let the hate get
This
to
show
us.
is dedicated to I Have Crocs on SoundCloud.
Yeah, we love you.
We
I
love
have
you, I
Crocs.
have Crocs.
Thank you for listening and then leaving a terrible comment about our show.
It was fantastic. You listened to the thing. I don't know.
All right, thanks everybody. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday for more super hot takes or lukewarm takes. I don't know how you're looking at it. But that's it, episode 2, boys. We've
All right,
arrived.
in the books.
We've
We
done
have
it.
arrived.
We have
We're here.
arrived.
That
John,
was
I'm gonna let
great.
you say goodbye to everybody.
All right, everyone. Good night.